Ladies and gents, how the devil are we all doing? It's the Notorious Gecko, and as ever, I've got some amazing camps to show you from some of the best builders in the 76 community. Now, for those of you that have been around for a while, you know the drill by now. The first half of this video is going to be the best clean builds of the week, and the second half's going to be the best immersive builds. Right then, with all that being said, let's take a look at them. In the number 5 spot for the clean build category, we have Lady H with the Birds Camp. Now, truth be told, I've actually visited this place, and it really is a nice camp. It's been properly well put together. Now, I'm led to believe this is based on something called The Birds by Hitchcock. Cards on the table, I have no bloody clue what that is. In all honesty, it could be a perfect replication of a film location, but I wouldn't know. I just saw eagles attacking a scorched and thought, yeah, that's top 5 material. All jokes aside though, this is a really nice looking camp. I think my favourite part about it is the, eagles and the ducks we've got over every square inch of the building. But aside from that, I mean, just take a look at the building itself. It's actually really smart, isn't it? In my opinion, it's got a rather grandiose look about it, and I must say, I absolutely love that bloody climbing frame you've made in back garden there, Lady H. That's some ingenuity thinking right there. Now onto interior decor. I'm guessing that this is all part of the theme. I have no idea what the theme actually is, so yeah, top marks on that. It looks exactly like the book slash film slash, yeah. Lady H, I think you've done a fantastic job with this. I'm uncultured, right? I don't read many books unless it's the picture variety. I don't really watch many films, so apologies for me ignorance. What I do know, however, is a nice camp when I see one, and this ticks all the boxes. It's very well put together, it looks bloody nice, and yeah, I think you've done a solid job on it. Thank you very much for entering this week, Lady H. Congratulations on the number 5 spot. Right then, so on to the number 4 spot, and this week we have the return of Macabrea with the Outback Cliff House, and yeah, I really like this location for a kickoff. That looks like an absolute kick in the penis to try and put a camp down there, so yeah, massive respect from me on that front. So when I first saw this bugger, I'll be straight up with you now, I thought you'd built into a cave system. I thought this was the acid location. But after watching the video, I don't actually think it is. I mean, I could be wrong, let me know down in comments, but I can't see a cave here. So I was a little bit disappointed about that at first. I thought this was like a really cool camp and an awesome resource location. But thinking on it now, it's actually a really cozy little build, this. In my opinion, having extra space in a cave may actually take away from it. I don't know, you let me know down in comments what you think, guys. Now, exterior wise, this thing looks really cool, doesn't it? As I've said, it looks like a difficult location to build in, so points from me on the technicality front. And aside from that, I just like how cozy it is. Now, the interior decor is really well done actually. There's not much of it due to it, being a little space. But honestly, I really do like it. The cliff face being part of your build is my favourite part. Now, is this truly a clean build? I don't know. In my opinion, it is. It's not scrappy, is it? But again, let me know down in comments. Have I made the right call? Maka, thank you very much for entering this week, my friend. It's nice to have you back. And congratulations on the number 4 spot. More than well deserved, my friend. In the number 3 spot this week, we have Olmisai with the small modern home camp, and let me tell you that this was very close to being number 2. However, we'll get onto that when we come to it. Let's stop jumping ahead. Right off the bat, Olmisai, this build looks bloody gorgeous. I like the double roofs. That's a nice touch. They are thick with 2 Cs, like there is some proper girth on them, isn't there? Another thing I loved about this build is how you've used stone fireplaces as pillars, and you've not done it in the lazy way either. I'll tell you what I mean by that when we go inside, guys, don't worry. But yeah, overall, this exterior is very nice. It is quite simple, but it's a modern home. You don't really need to go too mad with them, although everybody does 9 times out of 10. No, seriously, Olmisai, yeah, really nice work on this, and no generators inside either, which is a massive added bonus. Now, onto the interior, and yeah, this is fairly well decorated. I do like what you've done with the place. There is some pretty cool tricks going on in here. For example, look at the little gas burners that Omisi's made on his cooker. That's a nice touch in it, guys. Aye, of course it is. So back to what I was saying before about Omisi not doing the stone fireplaces the lazy way. When you see camps that use them as centerpieces or, wall decor, a lot of the time the other side of the fireplace will be visible or it'll just be walled off or something. But Omisi's not done that. I think he's actually merged a couple of them together to create, well, a solid stone column. That's a sign of somebody that gives a shit about the work, to be bluntly honest with you. Omisi, you've done a nice job with this one, pal. Like I said, the exterior, I like it. Your decor, I like that too. And again, I like how much effort you've put into the little details. It's a quality build, this is. Thank you very much for entering this week. Congratulations on the number 3 spot. In the number 2 spot this week, we have Silver Bunny with the Terra Bella build. Now, why is this one in the number 2 spot, you may be asking? Well, for a kickoff, take a look at it. That's a really beautiful build, that is. But aside from that, it's actually a deceptively complicated build as well. Let me explain it to you. Other than those little underpinnings you see at the bottom there, this build does not have any walls. Like, none at all. Bunny has literally had to place each and every single one of those new Buddy Palace of the Winding Path posts individually. And I think she said there was, 96 or 86 of them? It's some stupid number anyhow. From a technical standpoint, guys, that it's really impressive. Sometimes I think people wonder why builds get in, the places that they get in. Now, there is a lot of aspects to it, how they look, how they function, but a lot of it is the technical difficulty as well. Now, not in all cases, but yeah, this looks good and it's hard to do, but what more can I say? Believe it or not though, guys, I think my favourite part of this whole entire build is the little garden that Bunny's made there. That is a really, really nice looking little spot to chill in. She's even gone as far as to make stepping stones to it. Now, interior-wise, with it being such a small build, there isn't too much going on in here. But Bunny's done a beautiful job with the space that she's got. And yeah, overall, I think this has turned out bang on. Bunny, thank you very much for entering this week. Congratulations on the number 2 spot. And if any of you guys watching want to know how to build this, Bunny's actually done a tutorial on it. If you want to watch it, there's a link to a channel down in the description, as well as links to all the builders featured in this video actually. Make sure you go and check them out. Right then, so now we come to the number 1 spot, and this week's winner is Shaz79 with the Diagon Alley build. I apologise, that was extremely cringy and a fucking terrible impression of Snape. However, this build brings out the inner nerd and child in me, unfortunately. Right, so yeah, this is obviously an Harry Potter themed build, and she smashed it. I mean, even the entrance here, look, it's a brick wall. If you've read the books or, only seen the films, I don't know why you'd do that. That is the entrance right there. Now, when we step through the entrance into Diagon Alley itself, there's Gringotts right in front of you. It's Gringotts. It's even got the, slightly bent columns. They're not perfectly straight. Oh, I'm loving the detail here. We've got Ilop's Owl Emporium to our left, and I think we've got a Quidditch supply shop as well. Yeah, everything is here. This is fantastic. I love it. So as well as appealing to, nerdy man-children such as myself, it's actually a really well-built camp, this as well. It couldn't have been easy to do, especially in adventure mode. And to put it simply, Shez has nailed it. I mean, every single building looks different, but is still keeping within the theme of Diagon Alley. And above all, it actually looks like a street. It's easy to, formulate a streetscape in your mind, but actually, getting it to look like one, that's a whole nother story. This is top work. Unfortunately, we don't get to see many interiors. I think a lot of that's got to do with budget restrictions, but we do have some shop windows and, decoration outside that matches the shop. So yeah, I can't complain at that. And Shez, to wrap this up, I'm actually going to ask you if you could join me one day and help me recreate this. I would love that. I want this as one of my camps. Thank you very much for entering this week. Congratulations on the number 1 spot. More than well deserved. And that, guys, wraps up this week's top 5 clean camps. Oh, and I almost forgot, for the one person that asked last week in the comments, clean and queen. Clean Queen. I know, I don't speak proper. Anyhow, enough of that. Next up, we have the top 5 immersive builds of the week. However, I just want to make you guys aware that if you want to submit your own builds to the top 5, have a look in the description of this video and you'll see a link to my Discord. All you got to do is click on it, submit your builds here in video format, and hey presto, you're entered in that week's top 5 camps. It's dead simple, innit? Anyhow, enough of future top camp competitions. Let's take a look at this week's top 5 immersive builds. In the number 5 spot, we have the Atom Pit Stop by No to Jake, and this thing is, I love it. I mean, first off, look at that bloody truck that Jake's built. I've been trying to do one of them for ages now, and it's fucking frustrating. Seriously, if you want to give yourself an aneurysm, go and try and work out rear wheels for this truck, because I'll guarantee it, there's none that work, unless you want to piss around going underneath the map and making your own. With that being said though, Jake's actually come to a decent compromise using the, what is it that? It's just the trailer planter, innit? Yeah. No, it's not a perfect solution by any means, but it looks alright, and it doesn't function as a planter, does it? So yeah, you might as well get some bloody use out of it. As well as the truck, Jake's made this little loading area here, which is beautifully decorated, you know, that can't be argued with. That is stunning work. And to top it all off, look at the crane that Jake's made. Again, it's a little bit of building trickery, but it looks really cool, doesn't it? You know what, come to think of it, I don't actually think I've seen a crane built like that before. Fair play, Jake. Overall, pal, this is a really nice little build you've got going on here. Like I say, I love the truck, I love how your little loading bay is decorated, but above all else, funnily enough, I think the best part of it is how you've got mannequins carrying boxes. I've always said them buggers are alive, and this just proves it. Jake, thank you very much for entering this week. Awesome work on that truck, I must say. Congratulations on the number 5 spot. More than well deserved, buddy. In the number 4 spot, we have Jawa 4 with the Toxic Valley Outpost, and if you want immersion, guys, you're looking right at it. Jawa is honestly a master at these little, you know, settlement-y kind of builds, and he always puts them down in mad locations as well. I mean, the Ash Heap, for example, the Toxic Valley, as is the case with this build. I mean, let's face it, the shitholes, you know, but Jawa just seems to love them. Now, as I said, guys, the exterior of this is immersive as hell. I love all the different textures and building items that Jawa's put together to create that scrappy, you know, thrown together kind of look. I mean, he's even thrown down picket fences. I never thought I'd see them in any form of law-friendly build, but, you know, I'm seeing it here and they are working. Jawa, this is properly impressive, and another aspect about it which I've just noticed, it's quite compact. Obviously it's quite a large area, but it doesn't feel, I don't know, overly massive. That may not sound like a problem to you guys, but usually the bigger you go on your builds, the more empty they are. Yeah, I think this is a nice balance, this. Deco-wise, as usual, Jawa's just knocked it out the park. This guy's a seriously good, you know, decorator. I couldn't think of a better word there, I'm sorry. We got some rooms that are filled to the rafters with merge glitches. We've got others that are not so technical, but overall, yeah, I think they all look pretty smart. Jawa, as per usual, mate, solid job. I love the settlement-y kind of vibe. I love this theme you've got going down with most of your builds now. It's really cool. Thank you very much for entering this week, my friend. Congratulations on the number 4 spot. Right, so this is where placement got very difficult, and let me tell you, any of these could have been number 1. But in the 3rd place this week, we have Fuzzbrain with the Wild West Town, and wow. Take a look at that, guys. This place looks stunning, doesn't it? It actually looks like a Wild West town. Yeah, I mean, that's the title of it. Fuzz has made excellent use of those, I'm not sure what they're called, the boards that you get from the Nuka-Cola events, you know, the building fronts. I've actually been wondering myself whether you could, you know, make a structure out of them, but yeah, turns out you can. Fuzz he's done it right here. Honestly, Fuzz, that's a really ingenuitive way of making a unique building, in my opinion, at least anyway, not that that means much. What you got to remember is, all these fronts of the buildings here, you know, general store, boarding house, jail, etc., that's just a flat piece of wood. Fuzz has somehow managed to cobble these onto structures that he's made at the back, and yeah, it looks like a pretty convincing building, doesn't it? As well as the buildings themselves, the decor is also very fitting. to the theme. Now, obviously, you can't go too overboard with stuff if you're doing a theme. You know, there's no point in having a Wild West town and then putting, you know, Enclave Armory in middle of it. You have to keep a fine balance, in my opinion. And Fuzz, yeah, he's nailed it. This is a really, really convincing Wild West town. I've seen them done before, but this is by far the best. Hands down. Fuzzbrain, thank you very much for entering this week, and congratulations on the number 3 spot. More than well deserved, my friend. Hats off to you, mate. In the number 2 spot this week, we have Spyro76 with the Murgle Coffee Shop, and this was very kindly uploaded on behalf of Spyro by Nux Blackthumb, so thank you very much for that, my friend. Right then, so the most impressive thing about this, I mean, other than how fantastic it looks, is the fact that no Atomic Shop items were used to create this. This is all in-game stuff that you guys can get hold of without spending any money. How good's that? Anyhow, as you can see by the before and after shot, Spyro hasn't really added much in terms of buildings to this location. He's just added a shed ton of decoration, and my god, he has done it so well. This place looks so damn immersive, and if we take a look at how he's actually put the furniture down, it's just awesome. There is so much detail here. Trust me, you can do a build that looks as pretty as a picture, but if you don't put the time and effort into decor, it's just not the same. You know, it doesn't quite have that same effect. I mean, Spyro's build here is a perfect example. As I said, he's not actually added much to it. I mean, what, that little lean-to that he's built there? All the standy out stuff on this is decoration and how it's been placed down, and it looks absolutely incredible, doesn't it? Seriously, dude, this thing it's bloody awesome. Now, just before we take a look at the number 1 spot, if any of you know where this location is on the map, please let me know. I do believe it's a pre-existing one, and I have seen it, I just can't remember where it is. Yeah, let me know down in comments. Spyro, thank you very much for entering this week. Again, thank you to Nux for uploading it on behalf of yourself. Congratulations on the number 2 spot. This thing, yeah, next level decor on it. Right, so now we come to the number 1 spot for the immersive section. And who do you think's got it this week? Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to keep you waiting for just a little bit longer, because it's time for the honourable mentions section, yes. And as ever, we have 4 of the buggers. Obviously, we have the 2 honourable mentions for the immersive section, but we also have 2 honourable mentions from the clean section, so let's have a ganders at them first. The first clean honourable mention goes to Flotton with the Cult of the Mothman Camp, and I just like this because there's a lot of columns and it looks like a Roman buddy temple, doesn't it? Now, yes, there isn't much of an interior to look at because it's a small temple. However, the exterior is impressive, you can't deny it. You know, getting them columns in a nice circle shape and looking half decent isn't easy. And of course, Flotton's also done a rather fancy roof as well. Yeah, for a little build, this is really cool, and it did stand out to me. Thank you very much for entering this week, mate, and congratulations on the honourable mention. Yeah, it's different. Now, our second honourable mention goes to a new entrant in the top 5. It's Chipdas Medium with the tiny house in the Flatwoods camp. And yeah, this is a cool location. Let me tell you right off the bat, it's bloody good. Now, yes, it is only small. You can't get much in here unless you go underground, but I think Chipdas has done a fantastic job of filling it up. It's a pretty cool design for the size of the thing. What did it for me on this build, though, is its sheer coziness on the inside of it. Now, true, there isn't much going on, but that little bedroom area you've made, I don't know, it stood out to me that. I did like it. I also like your staircase that you built out of stools as well. Fair play, man. Chipdas, thank you very much for entering this week, and congratulations on the honourable mention. Right then, so on to our immersive mentions, and the first one this week goes to Ebu666 with the Atoms and Guns shop. And Ebu, I actually owe you an apology. I've been calling you Pebu for the last 6 months. I'm glad somebody's finally told me after, you know, all this time when it's not awkward. However, apologies to you, my friend. Now, onto your build, and right off the bat, this location, perfect for a shop. You literally can't beat it. Hands down, the best spot in the game for it. And I also think you made a really good choice using the Pittsburgh set to build the thing. This thing looks scrappy. It looks rough as hell. Yeah, it's perfectly immersive. Now, let me tell you, buddy, this one was a hard one to place for me. It was close to going in the top 5. The interior on this thing is so well decorated. It was a tough one, believe me. Ebu, you've knocked it out of the park with this. Like I said, I like the exterior of the thing, but the way you've done the inside of it, yeah, top notch. Thank you very much for entering this week. Congratulations on the honourable mention. Now, our final mention goes to Batandra with the House de Totengrabers build. And I pray to God I bloody nailed that pronunciation because I did an accent and everything, but anyhow. This build is quite an unusual one. I like the shape of the thing. It's not something simple. You know, you've had to put a little bit of time into making that, especially the roof area. So yeah, nice one. I also like your ballsy choice of building in the Toxic Valley. Like I said, for Jawa's build, it's a shit location, really, but it does look good for this kind of build. I must say though, Batandra, your interior was my favourite part of it. There's a theme this week. Everybody's decorating skills just seem to be off the bloody charts. The way you've decorated this, pal, is amazing, and I love the staircase that you've made. Seriously, I can't fault this one little bit. Some of the merges you've got going on, the way you've just scattered junk around, yeah, it's a really solid job. Batandra, thank you very much for entering this week, and congratulations on the honourable mention. More than well deserved. And with that, that is the honourable mentions wrapped up. Again, thank you all for entering. Now we're going to go back to the top 5 and find out who's come in the number 1 spot for the immersive builds. Unfortunately enough, I'm not going to keep you waiting for any longer. This week's winner is Dale with the Hillside Homestead. Yep, that's right, this guy has knocked it out the park yet again. What an incredible structure this thing is. Now, aside from looking extremely lore friendly and bloody cool, to put it simply, this thing is technically difficult as well. It is not easy. Let me explain it to you. This build has no snappable floors and no snappable walls. Like, none at all. Everything you see here, Dale has made it himself. So take for example the flooring on the first level there. That's the Blue Ridge stash boxes that he's merged together to make somewhere to walk. Guys, that's really not needed. That's just a kick in the penis over and over and over again. But he's still done it anyway. I don't get it, but it's cool. The same can be said for the walls as well. I think a lot of them are bookcases that have been merged into each other to create a solid piece of wood kind of looking thing. Ah, yeah, I think they are. But there's also do you know the Helvetia bloody log cabin welcome sign kind of things? Aye, of course you do. He's used them for walls in some places as well. Now, I don't know why any sane human being would want to put themselves through this, but Dale has done it, and to be fair, it's turned out looking pretty damn incredible. It's definitely unique. You don't see much like this in the wasteland. I mean, Jesus Christ, most of us struggle to get a decent camp down using normal building items, don't we? Let alone creating our own. Honestly, it's bloody mind-blowing, this thing. Now, as well as the structure itself, the decor's on point as well. Look at it. I can't really say much more, can I? Dale has taken a lot of time with this, and it shows. It's so lore friendly, it's so scrappy, but nothing's just been chucked down. Everything here has been very meticulously placed. Quite simply, guys, this thing's sublime. Everything from the scaffolding roof to the, stash box flooring. This is more than deserving of the number 1 spot. The amount of work Dale has put into this, I can't begin to imagine. Dale, congratulations on first place, my friend. I can't believe you've only been building for 6 months. This is incredible work. You've literally smashed it yet again. Hats off to you, mate. Now, just before I go, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who entered this week. It is not easy. The bar of this competition is being raised up every single time. So please don't be too disheartened if you didn't get in. And like I said, if you want to know why you didn't get in, my inbox is always open. As ever, I'd like to say a massive thank you to all my channel members and Patreons. The extra support is much appreciated. If that's anything that you guys are interested in, there's a link in the description, as well as links to all my other socials as well. Anyhow, as we say it north, I will love you and leave you, and I'll catch you next one. Have fun, everybody.